Okay, we have ghost. A ghost girl I downloaded from um, Sketchfab. Let's import that. It's an FBX. It's got an animation on it. What I'm going to try to do is reverse the animation so it has a fun, creepy loop once everything is mapped. First thing I want to do is create a reference pose. We'll see what the reference pose is. And that looks pretty good. Let's see, how many bones do we have? Can we automatically map this? 65 bones? No, we have to have 50 or less. Even if we, there's some obvious bones here that aren't being used. Even if we, I'm surprised that location data is, I'm surprised those are locked. Interesting. So that's not, I'm going to shift click and select these tips here. I know none of these are affecting the mesh. So I'm going to turn these to non-deformables and I'm going to count them. This one as well. So bones, 13 bones. So that's not just shy 2. I'd need to remove 2 more bones so that I can automatically map it. So I'm going to have to manually map it, which is fine. Hold the Alt key down and deform. It will turn them all to non-deformable. I want to see through in front. Alright, so this, I know from already attempting this that this set is transformed, and one of the most damaging transforms is the scale, and we have to fix that. Before I do that, I'm going to fix a couple of things here. First of all, the skirt doesn't seem to work right with it. It moves with it, but it doesn't bend. So let's change that. First go to relation. I'm going to take this off, and that's what I expected. I'll undo that. I'm going to check where's the hair. If I take that off, same thing, undo that. So I'm going to shift click on the rig and control P and object and keeps transforms. And now if I undo that, it'll stick. If I remove the parent, it should stay, and it did. I'm gonna do the same thing, even though it's already parented. I'm gonna do it again and see if I can get the same effect from that, and I do. So I'll undo the removal of the parent, and that will allow me to prevent any errors in the future. And as we move into the future, I will go to the clean motion and apply the transforms. So what this will do is apply transforms to the objects as well as the animation. It removes the scale from the animation so that the animation still works. Now you'll see that these 2 items are left behind, but we're going to first of all skin the hair directly to the head. It's going to be static. It's not going to we can try to skin it to the body. Let's try that. I haven't tried that. So skinny and weights, lock mesh. I want to click reskin in case there's an armature on it. I think there is. I'll lock the weight source and transfer the weights. Let's see what happens to the hair. It moves. It's a little funky. I don't really like it. I liked it better when it was just floating around static. See the little pieces there don't look right. So I'm just going to remove the weights from that and statically weight it to this bone here, which is the head bone in Second Life. And I'm just going to deposit my cursor in here. You'll see it highlights that. Control C to copy it into the buffer. Escape. And that's just to get the name. In object mode, I will select the hair mesh. Go to vertex groups. And I want to remove all these. Delete all groups. And I'll just add my own. One group. Control V. Paste that bone name in there. In edit mode, all the vertices are already selected, but just to be sure, you'd hit the A key and click assign. Now they are assigned to that bone or vertex group, and in order to get them assigned to the actual bone, you need to add an armature modifier, which is already present because of the skidding beforehand, so that works. And we'll do the same thing to the skirt, right, except we're actually going to skin the skirt to the body so that it bends a little bit. And that was good. Alright, I'm going to save this as temp file. And we'll go from here. The next thing I want to do is I want to map the bones so that they map to the Second Life rig. This is pretty painless and sometimes fun. If I click action, it will generate a Second Life rig for this purpose, and I will hide the mesh. From experience, I know that this will be pelvis and this bone is useless, so we'll skip that. And as luck would have it, there is just enough bones to cover the rest of the spine. So let's do the pelvis first, which is here. You can see M pelvis. Map these bones. I'll skip that bone here and this one. Map these bones and just keep going up until we run out of bones, but we're not going to do the very tippy top. That's not controlling any mesh whatsoever. And this is the neck. Is it? Did we mess up? Nope, that's the head bone. We did the neck and that's the head. Now the arms. Now I know that there's just enough bones here. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we can map these manually, just like we did the spine, but we don't have to. Click the end bones, you select one there, select one there. Don't select them both. For instance, don't hold the shift key and then select them. Bento Buddy knows which bone is selected on each rig. And we can choose a chain length of 4 and click fill. And it will fill that particular section. Okay, I got a wrong bone. Let me click undo here. Oh, undo didn't work on that one. Let me unmap those bones. Try again. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right? So that's fill. Oops. Did it again. Did it again. Unmap these bones because I had that selected. I need the end bone selected because it counts backwards down the hierarchy. Try again. There we go. And then do this one. Actually, I'm going to do the hands, right? No, I'll do this. Never mind. Now I'm going to do the hands. So I like to have the bones close to the target when I'm working. That's more convenient. But if I map these bones now, and remember the tip isn't being used. If I map these bones now, if I say fill of 3, because there's 3 segments in the fingers, all the other bones will reset to their original location. Watch that. See, they went back. I don't want that to happen. I want them to stay where they are. Otherwise, it wouldn't be convenient. In order to do that, you enable the release feature here, and that'll keep the rest of the bones where I put them until I'm done working with them. And fill these. Oops. And bring these over. Yep. Okay. Fill. And the legs. I have one. These are toe bones. We don't normally use those, but we could, except this toe bone here isn't being used at all, so we don't need it. I know that this next bone is actually being used. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So we'll count 4 down. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And that's the end bone. So choose your end bone. Tell it there's a length of 4, and fill. Now again, you can map these manually if you want. It's no big deal. But it's a time saver if you use the chain instead. And that's all done. Now I'm going to save the map. You don't have to, it saves with the Blender file. So for instance, if I save the Blender file, it'll be in there. I'll reset the stage. That doesn't destroy the map. Show the mesh again. And what is over there? What's down there? What do I got? That's the empty. Empty's not being used anymore. Is there another one? I think there might be another one. Anyway, I don't think it'll be a problem. Is that another one? No. That's another empty. Alright. I just deleted the empties. They're not being used. So we want the animation, and we want to convert the mesh to something Second Life understands, and that's what the map is for. It does both. So under character tools, if I choose the rig, retarget motion, this is a very custom rig, and instead of putting this into a T-pose, I'm just going to glue the bones directly onto the target. And since we have a custom animation for it, and we're not using in-world animations, we can do that, and we probably should do that in that particular case. So action, and you'll see that our proxy bones follow along with the rig. I'll export this animation. You can see that the retargeter has filled in some data for us. Anim export features, loop. You'll also see that the retargeter filled in a start frame, and since it knows that there is a reference on frame 1, it won't loop from frame 1 because it will look goofy. Frame 2 will be the most likely area where we can loop, and we're going to actually create a smooth loop, or try to, and it knows where the animation ends. So from here we just export it. And take a moment, it's kind of detailed. After I get it working, I'm going to duplicate the animation and invert it to see if we can get a nice loop going on. But first I want to do this. I'll reset the stage in the retargeter. you'll see that the armature is selected. I know that this mesh is too dense. It's going to take us a while to upload. So, well, I'm going to keep the body its same density because it has two materials on it, head and body part, which they're calling the skirt. It makes it easier for us to apply the materials as is instead of goofing around with textures. But the skirt and the hair are heavy, and I'm going to decimate them. And I'm not going to save my file. I saved my file before I did this. I'm going to 0.2 for the ratio and apply it. I'll do the same for the skirt. Decimate. 0.2 and apply it. And since I saved it, what I'm going to do first is actually going to delete the body because I can recover from that after. All right. Select the rig character converter and convert it. And now I can export. This will be just the skirt and the hair. All right. Now I'm going to reload my file. And since I don't want to decimate the body, I'm just going to click convert. And I'm going to delete the hair and the skirt. I'm going to upload this as two different items. And so I have A test and A test 2, and I know that the A test 2 is the body. The reason why I wouldn't want to do that is because the uploader is a little goofy. If it has too much to work with, it can take an exponentially longer period of time to upload something. So I'm doing them separately. I'm going to upload the animation first. Then I'm going to upload the skirt and hair. And the body is going to take longer than this skirt and hair. So there we go again. So I will, at those 2 points, pause the video because it's not an exorbitant amount of time. But oh, all right. So we have a problem with the skirt. Let's go fix that. You saw that we were seeing right through the skirt. If you look here, oops, go into edit mode, you'll notice that the normals are inverted. There's a ton of them on the inside and none on the outside. So go to mesh, normals, recalculate outside, and then we can turn this off. Again, I'm going to delete the body here, convert, export, and that was my A test. And I'll go grab that again. This time you can see it's working. Well, that's going on. Oh, I can't right click yet. All right. Oh, I didn't decimate it. Well, this is going to take a little while, but at least they're separate now. Maybe it'll be okay. I'll pause it and see what happens. No, it crashed. So I'm going to decimate these two items. Decimate 0.2, apply, and apply. And I'll just convert again. Delete the body, choose these two pieces. Actually, it'll export anything associated with it. No, I don't know. Whatever. Choose those two pieces and do it again. And let's go try again. Let's see my animation here. And the object is no good, right? Let's see what we get. Animesh. So we'll be needing this script here. Upload mesh model. So this. And the normals are goofed again. Okay, let's go back and fix it. Edit. Just to show you here. Mesh normals. Recalculate outside. Right. Select them all. Export. Try again. Alright, that'll work. Calculate. I'll create an anchor. Toss my animation in it. Upload the mesh. I'm going to parent that mesh to the anchor. Now I'm going to turn it to Animesh just to see where it's going to end up. Oh, when the animation starts, I think it will place it in a different spot. That's right. I'm going to upload my body now, which is in test 2. So this one might take a little bit of time. It's not too long, but I might pause it if the first one is too long. I'll pause the second one because it's going to take just as long for these dumb things to engage. And the reason why I didn't decimate the body is because I'm unsure if the material boundaries will be destroyed as a result. Now you can do your own testing and figure that one out. And that did take a little while, so I'll just pause. Okay, now this calculate weights and fees should not take as long. 55 joints, huh? I thought it was 52, and I just needed to recover 2 more bones to automatically map it, but I guess I was wrong. Alright, let's see what happens here. You have to ignore the representation in this window because it's using the Second Life default animations, and that's not what we're using. It's taking a little longer than I expected, so that might fail. I'll pause it. It actually did crash, but this is my second attempt and it uploaded. The cell is glitchy. Not like that's unusual. I'm going to texture this before I attach it to the rest of the stuff. And I've already set up my click on bulk so I can get all of my textures. I've already set up my textures. I just choose them all and see what we can do with that. Not sure I'll be able to use them all, but this is the naming here is error. Yeah, see that? I don't know what that's about. That shouldn't have happened. These are all PNG files. Try again. And nothing. Oh well. It's I've got ghost dress, normal, and diffuse. Let's do it one at a time. Normal and specular. Yeah, service unreachable. So it's those are the other ones, the old ones. Well, that's a new one. That's interesting. How many times is it going to upload? Well, let's see what we get here. I'm going to turn off the highlights and I'm going to select the head. Go to texture. This is the diffuse. So let's go to D. And this is the normal map, so that's the bump. I didn't select the face of that, so now I have to do that with the body, and you should be able to see that selected. Yep. And I know that the body is identified as the dress, so I'll drop the normal map in since that's what's chosen already, and then go to texture, which is the diffuse, and drop the dress D diffuse into that, and that ought to give me the body part. You can see that there's some separation here, and that has to do with their stuff, however they made it. It's not the conversion process or anything, but anyway, it's supposed to be spooky, so shouldn't be much of a problem. Edit, and I can edit link because these are two different objects, so that's the skirt portion. Diffuse will be the dress, and then normal, and then we have the hair. Let's do the hair, diffuse, oops, no, normal since that's selected already, and shiny is S for specular, and then the texture is diffuse for the hair. I think that's it. Yeah, I just have to anchor this as well, link it, enable the animesh. I'll drop my script in there. And then when I start playing it, it's going to sink into the ground. But we'll just lift it up. Put the feet on the ground. And edit linked. I want to make the box translucent, or transparent. There we go. That's our finished item. I'm going to try and adjust the animation though to make it a little bit more cool. I might fail. We'll see what happens. So let's go try that now. Okay, let's load our old file back up just to have a more nicer reference. And I'm going to go into pose mode, make sure all of the bones are selected, and then make sure all of the keys are selected. Let's see, if I say A, none selected, A, they're all selected. I want to make sure that there's enough space on this side to accommodate this entire animation again. So now I can Shift D to duplicate and drag an instance of that, a copy of that over. Alright. I actually want to drag it out a bit further than I need to. Maybe 3 times the distance. Because I need to scale it and I don't recall which direction it's going to scale on me. Now click to drop it. Now it should be that the new one is all selected, and I'm going to put my marker at the beginning here, and I'll put it over here so that it scales from this portion. Now if I hit S, I think that will do it, and I do -1, it should invert the animation. S, -1, and enter. And I want to delete the very last key, or at least not play it. Because it's the reference key. So I'll let Bento Buddy determine where that end key is, and then I simply will back up 1 frame so it doesn't play it. Now let me focus in on this area a little, and I want to pull these over so we get a nice match, and that looks like it'll work. So if I scrub through this, I'm going to deselect the bones so that it reduces the lag. It'll back up, so that's kind of cool. That's what I want. Now hopefully I don't have to split this. And I do want to save it here because that was a little bit of work. This particular area, Blender seems to have a problem with. It's kind of slow. Of course it could just be my computer, I don't know. But anyway, I need to retarget that animation again. So character tools, retarget motion, and I will action. Right? Yep. Now when I go over to the animation exporter, you'll see that I have all these, the frames have effectively doubled, but I want to back it up 1 because I don't want to play that last reference frame. And I want to do the same thing to the loop. And let's see what we get. It might be a little too big. Too much data. We'll see. I'll let that export and see if we get an error message. Now I'm not going to move my mouse because if I do, it'll obliterate the error message if it should present itself. Oh, we'll see. So I'll just split the animation and show you how that's done. Yeah, okay, file is too large for Second Life. So I'm going to turn on my splitter, and I'm going to split it halfway through. So the time is 26. We'll have, 13 seconds each. Owner only click. You'll find other videos on how to use this stuff. I'm going to leave debug off. And I'm going to export these, and I'm going to show what that looks like in the system console. Hang on. Okay. So here you'll see where the animations export. I'm going to adjust features here. I think I'll make this 14 seconds, and I need to enable kill. Something in either its beta grid or something has changed in Second Life since I actually used this last. Used to be when I put on kill, it stopped the animation. But lately, without kill on, when two animations are running at the same time, something weird happens and it stops the animation. So enabling kill this time works. What happens is, while the animation is playing, I'll put the time overlap is 1 second. So while the animation is playing, the kill will happen just before the next animation starts playing. Or no, the next animation will play first, and then the previous animation will be killed. For some reason, there's a glitch causing the animations to stop playing. I'm sure I could script my way around it, but I think it's also a Second Life glitch, or a viewer glitch, more specifically. Anyway, I don't want to export frame 1 because we don't want that little flippy thing happening. We'll go from frame 2, and this loop doesn't matter. It won't export like that when split is enabled. So let's export this. It should export into 2 different animations, and it will automatically generate our 2 scripts for us. So there goes the first one from frame 2 to 338. I should have pulled it back to 337 because I don't want that T-pose to play. I'm going to have to let this run through and then I'll do it. Because I scaled the animation, inverting it, the T-pose, or rather the A-pose, the rest pose, is present on the last frame as well as the first frame now. So I don't want to export that. I'll do this again. What happened? I thought I pulled it back to 337. Oh, wait a minute, stuff. Why is the end frame 337? Oh, I see. It's readjusting the values in the exporter instead of doing all this internally. It reconditions the exporter to make it happen. Never mind, that's my goof. Alright, so we should have our animation all set. Let's go check it out. Okay, bulk, just the two. And the way I upload my animation from the auto-generated scripts, the way I upload my script from the auto-generated script is to use the bulk uploader, but I don't actually use it. I just use it to locate the item and open it. Select all, copy, then I can dismiss this window. I don't actually do anything with it. Here I will drop my animations in there and also create a script. Select all, oops, and paste. That came from my text file. Now I'm going to shift click drag to reset the animesh. Let's see what happens here. Alright, so we got the backup one going, the second one. See if the first one plays again. If that glitch is present. Seems to work. Give it one more round. Alright, I guess that's it.